This is a PC I got for free. It is a small home slash office PC, just a typical PC, not really a super advanced gaming PC with all kinds of RGB on it, but that doesn't matter, it is free. It was originally destined for the trash, but we are going to revive it in this video. In this video, I'm gonna show you what components this PC has inside. We're gonna boot it, we're gonna try out some stuff, we're gonna install Linux on it, and we're gonna see if we can game on it relatively smoothly. And I'll also show you what I'm gonna use this PC for once this video is done. Let's have a quick look at what we get for free. It's a nice HP PC, it's not too big of a case. Here is my hand for reference. Let's have a look. We get a CD disc, which is nice. A headphone jack, I think that's an SD card reader, USB-C and USB-A on the front. It's a pavilion PC, by the way. On the back we find the power input, a little light, some cooling system for the power supply, I think. And this is the bottom fan for the rest of the PC. We have a little GPU here with some HDMI and even VGA. Well, that's pretty old. Some more inputs and outputs here with Ethernet, USB-A, and that's it basically. Here on the top we have a on button, and on the other side we have another cooling intake or outtake, whatever that is. Okay, I think it's time to open it up. What we can find is a CPU and a GPU, and that looks like an HDD right there. Pretty packed PC, to be honest. And there's the power supply. Now, I'm not gonna risk anything doing something to the CPU, so I'm gonna leave that for now. This is a pretty small GPU, to be honest. Probably not one that is too powerful. I thought it was a GTX 1050 and a little green motherboard and a RAM stick right there. Can we see how much RAM that is? That looks like 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can't really see it that well, but I can see it from a different perspective. Let's have a look inside. Some nice I/O there. Well, it definitely needs some cleaning here. I'm gonna do that outside, I think. And there is a little date that says 2017, so it's not too old of a PC. Okay, but before I'm gonna turn it on, I'm first going to clean this up. And I think I'm gonna do this outside. Alright, I have set everything up. As you can see, the PC is all plugged in using the power inlet and the HDMI, and I also have this monitor right here. We also need a keyboard and a mouse, of course. For this setup, we actually have an entirely new mouse and keyboards combo. So let's unbox that real quick. And let me also put this away. Now let's see if it powers up. Nice, it turns on. Alright then, this is the setup. We have our little PC here. We have our monitor here, and we did know the password of it. So, welcome to Windows 10. It still runs Windows 10 pretty well. Let's see what we can do. There we go. This is not really a graphically intensive game, so hey, we've got sound on this monitor. Who cares? I just want to play Klondike, okay? What we can do now is take a look at the specs we are working with. We have an AMD A8 9600 and a Radeon R7. We got 10 cores with 4 being for compute and 6 for graphics. We got 8 gigabytes of RAM, about a terabyte of storage here, which is very nice. And for the GPU we have of course the 1050, which is not so great, but we can work with that, doesn't really matter. We got 4 gigabytes of VRAM and our GPU is 34 degrees Celsius. Okay, now let's actually do a benchmark test. I found this program called Performance Test 11. First I'm gonna do it on Windows and then on Linux when we are actually going to install Linux on this device. But first, Windows. Yeah, I'm gonna... Alright, there we go. Starting off with integer math and the CPU. After that we're going to 2D, 3D, memory and disk. This test is gonna take a while, so to be honest I am pretty impressed by how silent this thing is. We are now doing a benchmark and I can barely hear it. Now then, let's do some Windows gaming. Alright, we are in the game. This is a fun little karting game that I really love. Okay, before I do that, let me go to settings, graphics. Let me just go ahead and... No, we don't need that. Let's just put it all the way up. Now we can actually benchmark this inside the game, which is pretty cool. It actually looks pretty okay, to be honest. I assumed it would look worse. So then, there we go. Honestly, that GTX 1050 is holding up pretty okay. We're getting now an FPS of about 50. I'm better at this game, but I can only play with one hand right now, so I'm a bit handicapped. Actually pretty okay. I actually expected the worst, so maybe this is also not the most graphically intensive game. Anyway, let's go ahead and install Linux. Alright, Linux Mint is installed. First I actually wanted to install Rocky Linux. However, I found out soon enough that that is a enterprise based Linux distro. I tried it out, but it wasn't really the best experience. Also, some things like SuperTux card just didn't work. Wasn't made for it. I also tried Ubuntu, but Ubuntu had some issues with actually installing it on the computer. But right now we are on Linux Mint and I hope everything is working as intended. Let's try the performance test. Let's see if this is going to work. On Windows this is just a graphical UI, but not here, okay. And here are the results. And finally we have here all the details on the website for this PC. On the website of Passmark. Now let's check how many FPS I can get while gaming. I have put everything on the highest quality and I'm playing in HD with 19 other computer cards and me as a human card. Well, this is a pretty simple map and I'm getting about 80 FPS, so that is very good. This one is just a bit more complex with lighting and stuff. So I really wonder how this is going to perform. Alright, we're getting about 50 to 60 FPS I see, so that's pretty playable. I have another fun idea. Let's try to do some Blender on this thing. Alrighty, Blender is loaded. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, pretty smooth to be honest. For this render we're gonna use the cycles using optics. Let's render. Let's see how long this is going to take. It makes an estimation of about 6 minutes, so... Well then, this has been a great experiment. It shows that you don't really need much to actually have a good working computer. Especially now with the RAM crisis due to AI. I think PCs like this are starting to make a whole lot of sense. As long as you don't need a high-end PC, this should be more than enough for daily tasks like browsing, spreadsheets, email, whatever you do. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I think we will use this PC for as our home PC. So we're gonna connect it to the TV at our home and then use the wireless keyboard and the mouse so we can control it remotely.